All right, David Dahl is joining us now, and Robert Pavlik is joining us now. David is president. I'm sorry? All right. David, good morning. Thanks very much for being with us.
Mark, good to be back with you.
Have you changed your name to Blackstone yet?
Well, the markets are all abuzz this morning with the IPO.
There are other stocks trading, though, aren't there?
Pardon me, sir?
I say there are other stocks trading, aren't there?
Yeah, you know, I'd actually go back to what Bertha was just talking about. I think there's a really interesting corollary from our viewpoint between what's happened overnight with Bear Stearns and Blackstone. You know, it didn't take government regulation or taxation policy for Bear Stearns to look at the economics of adding more capital into their funds. We're concerned a little bit about Representative Waxman and Congress looking at targeted taxation on this type of private equity IPO. That impedes capital flow.
Robert Pavlik is now joining us, Chief Investment Officer at Oaktree Asset Management. First of all, your impression of the Blackstone opening?
It's obviously hot. People are very interested in it. It's you know, sort of trading differently than the rest of the overall market, but given what kind of company it is, it's not really that surprising.
Is it a sign of a frenzy, a top perhaps?
I'm not sure, but there is concern that this might be a top because it's one of these private equity deals that are coming out, and the conditions may not ideal for it. Interest rates are moving up, market's at an all-time high, and so there is some concern going forward.
But David, you, according to my notes, you are concerned about dark clouds on the horizon. What's that mean?
Yeah, well, I just kind of mentioned it. When we look out on the horizon, these discussions about regulation, about taxation policy potentially changing, we've enjoyed, for the most part, 25 years of one direction, which has been generally favorable to capital formation flows, and look how the markets have reacted. When we look at the land grab going on now with Congress targeting into private equity, even if it's at a cycle peak here, that's concerning for us, and we're going to see what else forms around this.
Robert,
yes.
The subprime thing. Every time I think that's over and done with and we've adjusted it, it seems to come back. Is it over or not?
No, not yet. It seems as every time we move away from it, it pulls you back in.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue because there's more folks out there that have exposure to it. Bear Stearns isn't the only one. Barclays today, they're saying, oh, well, you know, it's not going to be that much of a big effect on us. Well, sooner or later, it's going to affect somebody. And when the street gets wind of it, they start hitting these things. They start hitting those investments, and they take advantage of those hedge funds. And so it's going to spread. Be careful with those.
David Dahl, a broad question, not just with reference to Blackstone, but, you know, forgive my skeptical nature. When people like Steve Schwartzman offer me something, I figured I'm not getting a bargain price. It seems to be a real good time for private equity to come public here because people are willing to pay up.
Yeah, pardon me, Mark. This is certainly a great time when you look at the cycle. We've had very favorable interest rates. The market is awash in liquidity, as evidenced by just the amount of capital that's being able to be raised by private equity funds. You know, it's a bit ironic. Private equity has told us for at least the last 3-4 years now that they've been able to come in and buy out some of the larger firms to really save them from the onerous burden of Sarbanes-Oxley. And now we see a private equity firm willing to subject itself to that. There's a little bit of irony there.
All right, gentlemen, we're out of time. I'm sorry. David Dahl, thank you very much, sir. Connolly Trust Company, and Robert Pavlik from Oaktree Asset Management. Michelle.
Mark, it's Friday.